Aloha, welcome back to my channel. It's been a little while since I've been here and recorded and put a video up, so hopefully hopefully I haven't kept anybody in like any kind of anxious anticipation waiting for my next video. I doubt that I have that serious of a following yet, but just in case there was somebody that was actually waiting for me to follow up with my last video, my apologies. So I think I even forgot to announce in my last video that I was going to be going on vacation for a couple weeks. I tried to put that maybe not even in the description box. I think I just tried to share that on social media as I was sharing the link to the video. And so I went to Colorado for a couple weeks towards the end of July, beginning of August. My husband and I went out there to go visit my sister-in-law, my husband's sister, who was getting married. And so it was a great trip. We had never been to Colorado before. So anyhow, after we got back from Colorado, which was the beginning of August, I just really was just in a bit of like an energy drain kind of space from obviously going on vacation. And I think for most people, it's kind of like, oh, coming back from vacation, and you need another vacation to kind of decompress from the vacation. Anyhow, so I think I was going through just a low energy phase as far as just all the energy got spent up in Colorado. I was also going through a little bit of a depression. And so I just really wasn't feeling motivated to sit down and record YouTube videos. So I figured, you know what, I'll just ride the wave of being on a break and, kind of let this depression cloud pass and just wait till I feel motivated again to sit down and record. So here I am. So I just wanted to explain real quick, what, or the reason why there was just a bit of a break between last video, this video. Also, just during my time off, if you will, from YouTube, I started visiting my intentions, how I was already approaching recording and coming up with content, and even like my style of videos, and not necessarily like production quality, but just the overall, I guess, style. Kind of like more, not that this isn't a vlog style, but I don't even know what you would call this style. More instructional slash anecdotal. Like a lot of my philosophical videos, I think I also tend to fill with a lot of anecdotal, like personal experiences. So that's what I mean by style. And if what I had been doing was matching up with what my original vision was and maybe what my evolving vision is. And so anyhow, saying all that to come back to, I realized that there was a bit of how I was setting the pace for myself as far as recording, try to get a video recorded and up at least one a week was, honestly, it's not that wasn't working for me, because in the sort of pocket of time where I had initially kicked off my first video to where I last left off, I was feeling genuinely excited to sit down and record each video. So the excitement was there, but I think I had started putting on an unnecessary expectation for myself. And so because of that, putting a stress on myself, as in like, oh, just because I've said now that I want to record a video once a week, put it up once a week, that I have to now meet that commitment every week. Otherwise, I'm a poopy person. I don't know, something along those lines. So anyhow, I just realized that I was being a little too rigid in my expectation. Nope, that still isn't right. But I was being a little too rigid with the discipline part of how I was wanting to approach my YouTube channel. So I just decided that I'm going to ease up the reins a little bit. And I'm sharing this with you all just so that you know where I'm coming from, and so that there's no expectations on the other side of the camera as far as the audience, and that all lines of communication are clear and flowing. But ultimately, just wanting to kind of relax on the reins a little bit as far as for me sitting down and maintaining some kind of disciplined commitment to my channel. So I still would desire to record a video, maybe more. I do see that being a thing coming when more time is there. But I'm not, from now on, I'm not going to absolutely pressure myself to sit down and record a video once per week. Just because I don't want to. I don't really, I want this whole YouTube thing to stay a fun project for me, an engaging project, a project that, you know, I too look forward for this thing to help me grow and evolve as a person, as a professional. But I don't want to put an unnecessary stressor on myself, especially when this whole thing started off as, you know, wanting to do something for fun. And at the same time, doing something for fun, I might be able to help some other people along. So that was the main thing that I wanted to share as far as just kind of, I guess, giving you an update, where I've been, what's been kind of going on, but that you may or may not see a slight shift in my video upload schedule. So yeah, that's it. Other than that, I kind of just wanted to take the opportunity with this video just to get a little bit into some story time. So yeah, Colorado. Oh my gosh. So I don't know if I've ever even mentioned before, like, where I am actually at. I live in Richmond, Virginia, and lived here now with my husband. We had moved back from Hawaii in 2013, so we've been here for almost 6 years now. It's crazy how time flies, and it just does not seem like we've been here 6 years already. So yeah, we had never been to Colorado. We decided we were going to drive, so we drove all the way from Virginia to Colorado. It actually wasn't that bad. It only took us, well, it took us 3 days because, so total drive time was about 24 hours. But we wanted to enjoy the drive and maybe, I don't know, like if something caught our eye, you know, like, hey, let's go stop and see that thing, whatever. And so we decided to drive for all kinds of reasons. I do have to admit the number one reason was honestly so that we could take our mountain bikes, because being mountain bikers, you can't go to Colorado and not mountain bike. I mean, come on. So had to take our mountain bikes, and once we started looking at flying and traveling with our bikes, and it was just, story time got interrupted. How rude. My camera decided to stop recording. I still haven't figured out why it does that, but hopefully I'll figure it out someday. So anyhow, yes, the mountain bikes were the biggest reason why we didn't fly. It was just going to be too expensive. And yes, you can rent bikes, but again, that's just additional costs. And it's also to kind of like, you want to take your own bike, really. Like, I mean, it's your baby. You want to take your bike. You get used to your own bike, your own bike's geometry, how it fits your body's geometry. So it's, you know, if it's an option, you want to take your own bike. So we drove, and it was a very pleasant drive. We split it up into 3 8-hour days. We would basically drive, like get up, you know, eat breakfast, drive about 4 hours, stop, have lunch, take a break, drive another 4 hours, and then spend the night somewhere. And so, and we did that all on the way back, and it was great. We were dreading the drive because we thought it was going to be absolutely horrifically flat going pretty much from Indiana going out west. And it actually really wasn't that flat. It didn't really get flat until we got to Kansas and then eastern Colorado. Eastern Colorado was basically just as flat. It's the same kind of topography as Kansas. So, but even with the cool thing with Kansas now, as you're driving through there, I mean, it is a lot of flat land, a lot of country, lots of cornfields and cornfields. But it was really cool to start seeing all of the windmills and wind farms, you know, out just, you know, it's kind of like, well, there's all these open fields, and all of the winds definitely pull through that area of the continent. So it makes sense. And so that was a cool sort of contrast to see. So yeah, anyhow, it was actually a lovely drive. I recommend it if you're a person that's thinking about doing some kind of travel along those lines, and you absolutely don't hate driving, and you don't have anything like physically going on with you to like keep you from driving. So that was awesome. And our overall trip out in Colorado was pretty much taken up by wedding affairs, family stuff, which was all awesome. My sister-in-law's wedding, oh my gosh, like the venue was just tucked up a little bit going back into the mountains there in Colorado. They lived in Golden, Colorado, which is just outside of Denver. And that's Golden kind of starts to lead you back into the mountains and the foothills of the mountains. So absolutely beautiful. This was the other thing too. That was just honestly one of the highlights of the trip. I mean, the wedding was a highlight, but there was like a couple of cherries that got thrown on top of that sundae. So my sister-in-law and her new wife, they basically, I think I remember it correctly, that they had their wedding ceremony was the first same-sex wedding ceremony that was taking place at the venue they had rented, which was a brand new venue. So they were like one of the first people to ever rent this place out. And so, I mean, it was stunning. Well, the day of their wedding, as forecasted, thunderstorm came rolling through at one point, which when it did, it was perfect timing because we were all inside eating our dinner. And after the thunderstorm rolled through, everything's clearing up and the sun is shining. Well, it kind of, what tends to happen when sun's shining and a thunderstorm rolls through, you get rainbows. We got a rainbow. We got like rainbow of all rainbows. And we didn't just get one rainbow, we got a double rainbow. And it was the most epic the double rainbow was awesome, but one of the rainbows was one of the most epic rainbows I have ever seen in my life. I mean, it was so bright, so vivid. And if anybody follows me on Instagram, I did post it on my Instagram. I think my Instagram handle is just Sarah Thieme. I'll try to throw that over here in case anybody wants to go check it out. But yeah, I mean, just the symbology of the rainbow and just the vividness. It was just like, oh my goodness, spectacular. And it was so potent that the people that owned the venue made it a point to take a picture, post it on their social media, and just celebrating the wow factor of this rainbow happening, not just a rainbow, double rainbow happening on their first same-sex marriage ceremony at their venue. So it was just, everybody was just kind of celebrating like on a whole new level. So cool. Anyhow, so that was the wedding stuff. Too, while we were in Colorado, of course, you gotta get out to the mountains a bit. So my husband and I, kind of after wedding ceremonies and events passed, settled down, we went out to Rocky Mountain National Park. We spent the night in I forget the hotel, but the town that we stayed in was called Fraser, which was close to another town called Winter Park. And so we stayed at that place in Fraser because it was still close to Rocky Mountain National Park, but it was also close to a place called Trestle Bike Park. And so we went to Trestle Bike Park the second day of us just kind of doing our own thing out in the mountains. Yeah, really, honestly, if anybody ever has opportunity to go out to Rocky Mountain National Park, I highly recommend it. Like, just the most breathtaking scenery. I mean, it's awe-inspiring, and it's just so magnificent. And oh man, I mean, it's so beautifully surreal. I can't describe it. You just have to go. You have to see it for yourself. But I highly recommend it. We also went and did the hike from Bear Lake back up to Emerald Lake. So we did the Dream Lake Emerald Lake hike, which was spectacular. I mean, kind of now, like, almost all hikes are going to be forever ruined because this darn hike was so just wow. So there's that. Also, to any mountain bikers that are into bike parks, highly recommend Trestle Bike Park. That was such a fun place. Oh my gosh, like, there too, the runs were just so epically long. You know, of course, like, my usual way of hitting bike parks is to start with the green first because I want to get warmed up, but I also want to feel like the terrain and how that bike park might just, you know, carve out their different trails and trail systems. What translates as a green to this bike park might not translate to a green to another bike park. And so, yeah. And the green, I forget what it was called, but it was like the main green one, the long one. It was nearly a 20-minute run, like full length of time, all downhill. I mean, if you're not a downhill person, like, you have no idea how long that is. But it was just epic. And to their new gondola, I think it's just called the gondola. Oh my gosh, that thing is so fast. I mean, it spits you up the mountain within minutes. And so you can get tons of bike runs. I mean, taking into account, like, each trail is a long freaking run. I mean, you're talking at least 10 plus minutes, even if you're a fast person. Like my husband, he's fast, and it was still taking him like plus 15 minutes. I think it took him 17 to go down the green. So awesome bike park. Highly recommend. The gondola, that was sick. That got you up the mountains so fast. I mean, just so fast. And there is so many trail options, so many trail varieties, so many like trails too that had all kinds of different features. I forgot what the one jump line was called. Yeah, but there was I wish if I can like pull it up and remember it, I'll try to post that one over here too, because that was we took that trail last in recommendation from somebody that we started talking to at the bottom of the mountain. And they were like, yeah, once I took my sons down this trail, they just wanted to ride that one all day because it's a jump line. And oh my gosh, that was so fun. So yeah, if I can remember which trail that was, I'll try to put that one over here too, because that was epically fun. We only got to do one run on it because after that we were wiped. It was like the legs can't make another one. So anyhow, yeah, Colorado, epic. Oh, two last little, I need to kind of wrap this up because my battery's going to die. But last little story time share, I wanted to mention the Denver Burger Battle. Holy jeez, y'all in Denver throw down on some burgers. Like, oh, I've never been so full in my life. And so first of all, I'm not one that eats a whole lot of red meat. And oh God, I've never been so full in my whole life. And basically what the Denver Burger Battle is an event where all of these local burger places, venues come together, and they're basically trying to serve and dish up their best creation for this event, and then you, the people, get to judge on it. And so you're basically going to like 20 different vendors. Got cut off again. So yeah, Denver Burger Battle. You're going through and you're eating from like 20 different vendors, and you really have to be strategic about it. Otherwise, you're not going to make it through all the vendors. You're not. So you have to really just eat small bites and really like discipline yourself. Small bites. And yeah, you go through and you're eating all these burgers and they're all delicious. And there's delicious beers there and other things too. And so just wow, that was a really good time. We ended up staying an extra day just to go to that with my sister-in-law, well, sisters-in-law. And so that was cool. Krista and Taylor, thanks for inviting us to stay for that one, because that was pretty epic. We've been telling everybody about that. So yeah, I think that was kind of like all the big stuff I wanted to share and kind of squeeze into this story time. So Colorado, so much fun. Can't wait to go back, especially to go back for some more mountain biking, because there's so many trails out there, and there's no way, obviously, that we got to explore even close to all that we wanted to, so we will be back. But it is good to be back in Richmond, in Virginia, and just to be home and getting back into the swing of it. So now to close, too, I've got to kind of like untrain myself to kind of get out of whatever closing thing that I had before, to basically just say bye for now, and we'll see y'all in the next video, whenever that is. Maybe next week, maybe not, I'm not sure. But I did want to ask if anybody has a topic that they would like to request for me to get to either in the next video or sometime soon. Please leave that in the comments below. Or on my social media comment section. From anything from like philosophy, morals, ethics, the spiritual path, spiritual growth stuff, to things dealing with massage, maybe physical health, wellness, to holistic health and holistic dimensional things, like things from even like nutrition to, I'm not a nutritionist, I will say that, so I do not prescribe food, but I'm highly knowledgeable on nutrition, so generic questions I more than likely can help. And then, yeah, so anything like that, and anybody just have a request. I just wanted to open the floor to say I'm here to hear you, and so please leave those ideas in the comments. And yes, we'll see you in a video very soon. Aloha.